The world of Rockstar.
Good! That's what I thought!
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Kick a kid in the balls, suffocate someone with their grocery bag, go on an innocent hike, eat some Cluckenbell. This is the ultimate Rockstar Iceberg, where we will be going into the depths of the oceans where the ancient sea creatures live. Shout out to Zealous998 and King of Hearts 67, they both made some great charts. The deeper we go, it is going to start to get weird. So let's get fat as hell and slow motion dive our way into this. It is about to get bizarre. Or should I say just clucking bizarre? Yeah. Whoa, hey.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Tyler the Creator voice line. Oh baby, this one is good. We all know Tyler the Creator, one of the most famous artists out there. He just recently released an album, but did you know that he also did some voice lines for GTA 5? As seen in his tweet where he says, if you have GTA 5, I'm the voice of random people, so yeah. His voice can be heard from just any random NPCs having a conversation, and it's pretty funny. Although I think the NPCs have to be black.
Watch your step, you musty motherfucker. Hey man, I'm sick of this shit. I need to start wiping my ass, huh? Hey, them niggas over there got a problem? You like potato salad? Cause I like potato salad, niggas.
Sernando. What a great way to start things off. You see, before GTA 6 was ever announced, before there was any trailer or gameplay, one man had access to it over 7 years ago now, and the game's still not out yet. I mean, that's what you call early access. Yes, the infamous Fernando unboxing of GTA 6. I mean, this man milked this series harder than a grass-fed cow.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Grand Theft Auto 6 PS4! I thought you were gonna...
Bully 2. Tell me you don't love Jimmy Hopkins and his bald head. Bully is an incredible experience. However, it came out over a decade ago and Rockstar has never followed it up with a sequel or huge DLC. It was just left to rot. But the developers have said that there is a Bully 2, that it actually does exist, and the development has just been halted because of other priorities like GTA, Red Dead Online. So Bully 2 is actually real, but there's just been other things they've been working on. I mean, does that mean Bully 2 after GTA 6? Hey, you heard it here first. The game was definitely in development at one point in time. Whether we will ever see it or if it got cancelled, I guess we'll just have to wait another 15 years. Manhunt banned. Perhaps the most violent game ever created, Manhunt was banned in over 30 countries. In fact, when Manhunt 2 was first released, it was so gruesome that it couldn't even get an M rating, so it wasn't able to be released for consoles. The reason for this was because you brutally murder people in the most violent way possible, and that is how we get our entertainment. So news publishers, people in politics, they were all calling Manhunt out, saying how it's a terrible representation for kids and people, so it got banned in many countries like Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia. But the good old USA, man, we don't care about that. I beat that guy to a bloody pulp. Mount Chiliad, the most famous mystery out of any game, and it stands on top of the largest mountain in San Andreas. Here we can find a type of mural that seems to be pointing us in the direction of a supernatural power, and on it there are 3 images, being a UFO, a man with a jetpack, and a cracked egg. It's said that these 3 things are actually supposed to be representing the 3 main characters of GTA 5 and the themes of their stories. The lone man in the UFO is Michael because he's been alienated from the rest of his family. The cracked egg represents Franklin and his new life, a sort of fresh start and rebirth for him, not a low-time gangster in the streets, but rather a baller living in the hills. While the man in the jetpack is Trevor because, as we know, he actually used to be a pilot, but after failing a psychological analysis, he was kicked out of the Air Force. And it's because of this tragic event, Trevor instead started to rob banks with Michael.
This boy, he had all the talent, charisma, and guile that a boy could have, but he didn't know what to do with it.
He should become a baseball player.
He could fly planes, so he signed up for the Air Force to fly all day long and bomb villages and maybe, just maybe, drop the nuke. And it was all going well until one day, just before he got his wings, an evil witch in charge of psychological evaluations told him he was unstable and grounded him for life.
That's terrible.
These lines then represent the story and the time of events played out. For example, Michael's line goes to Franklin first before Trevor's because Franklin doesn't meet Trevor until way after. And both Trevor and Michael's lines don't reach the top while Franklin's does, showing how Michael or Trevor can die while no matter what, Franklin will always be alive. The image also shows electric bolts and other things which represent the fact that once you 100% the game and go to the top of the mountain at the same time as a lightning storm, a UFO will spawn. Let's just hope Michael doesn't get abducted this time. The cops are racist. When GTA 5 first came out, many believed that the cops in the game were racist, as seen by this video here posted over 9 years ago where Franklin simply goes up to a police officer and
I only listen to white rappers.
I think that's a good idea.
Hey, you keep us safe, all right, officer?
You've crossed the line!
Who do you think you are? He's got a weapon. Suck my dick!
Yeah, that was crazy. Even Game Theory would make a whole entire video investigating this, and what he did find, well, turns out it was true. The cops are racist, kinda, not really. In his study, he found out that it wasn't actually race, but rather socioeconomic status. Trevor and Franklin, the two poorer characters, were way more likely to be harassed by police than Michael, and the extensive testing seems too thoroughly done to just chalk it up to coincidence. And we just see how much detail went into GTA 5, so the cops treating you differently depending on which area of the city you are in would definitely add to this realism. Let's go, Franklin. BLM. Bigfoot, the ancient theory that spans back in the Rockstar franchise across different games across 20 years. The first time people started talking about Bigfoot was in San Andreas, where you could hear some strange noises if you entered the woods. However, there was never a sighting of him. Not until we come to Red Dead Redemption 1, where there's a mission in which you kill a bunch of Sasquatches who were supposedly terrorizing the nearby humans before you got to talk to the last one.
Shoot me, human! Shoot me!
Oh, I will, you foul creature of the night.
You'd be granting me peace.
Why's that? Keep you from eating more babies?
What in the name of all the traits are you talking about, human?
You eat babies. You have to survive. Everyone knows that. Ain't your fault.
We eat berries and mushrooms, you fool! But we did. Now none of us are left. Some maniac's been murdering us. I'm the last of my kind. We've lived in these hills 1,000 years.
You eat babies.
Then 100 years later, in 2013, GTA 5, once we complete the game, we can chase Bigfoot in the hills as Franklin, having to shoot him.
Shoot me, human. Make it stop.
I just shot your ass and stopped.
I'm the last of my kind.
Yeah, evolution is a bitch.
We've lived in these woods 1,000 years.
Man, wait a second. Is this a fucking mask?
Make it stop, human.
Man, shut the fuck up with that bullshit. What the fuck is wrong with you running around the woods in a costume?
I'm the last of my kind.
Man, you fucking freak.
Hey, I'm no freak. It's perfectly normal to admit to being aroused role-playing dressed as a fantastical beast.
What the fuck was that?
What do you want it to be?
Michael in Red Dead Redemption. Ned Luke, the voice actor for Michael in GTA 5, actually makes an appearance in Red Dead Redemption 2. However, his contribution is small.
Shit.
Yeah, that's it. But he himself has confirmed that his voice lines were actually cut from the game, and it's raised theories about the fact that maybe he was actually supposed to be a character in Red Dead Redemption 2. Or maybe not. GTA 6 Joker. Back when the GTA 6 trailer was released earlier this year, a man would go viral for his resemblance to a character found in GTA 6. His name is Florida Joker, and you can see why. I mean, it's a cool name though. But he wasn't featured or paid to quote unquote be in the game, and so therefore he would try to sue and threaten Rockstar to pay him $10 million before he goes in there and does whatever he's gonna do. Obviously, he didn't get paid because you can't prove that's him in the trailer. Let me know what you guys think. Should this man get his bread? I think like $20 and a free copy of GTA 6 would be good. The insurance companies track you. This is a theory that companies such as Morris Mutual Insurance actually have an implanted device in you that allows them to monitor your location and health at all times. This would explain why you can shoot someone out in the middle of nowhere with no people that can hear or see, yet the cops will still be on your ass. And the reason clients get this and happily surrender their body and privacy is in order to get that sweet discount on their insurance. Try insuring this, bitch, yee ass haircut. The infamous line found at the start of GTA 5 by the one and only Lamar. We gotta include it here, right? Everyone remembers the hero, the beautiful delivery, but guys, can we remember why he said this line?
Who you trying to impress?
Your auntie Denise with all that ass, nigga, she got ass.
Ah, she's sexy.
Sexy? She more like obsessed with sex, nigga.
Put up a penis. That's exactly how I like my women.
Lamar wanted to pull up to see our auntie, but it ended with Franklin being insecure about his haircut.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with. nigga.
What?
Bermuda Triangle. In GTA 5, they're said to be its own version of the Bermuda Triangle in game. In real life, the Bermuda Triangle is a region that is shaped like a triangle. Go figure. But the reason it's become a mystery and a place to avoid is because of its harsh weather conditions, and the amount of people and boats and planes that have gone missing here is astonishing. This has sparked up many conspiracy theories, many mysteries about this place. In GTA 5 near Fort Zancudo, we can find multiple plane wreckages, which has caused this little area to be rumored that it's cursed. And this is weird because I mean the base is literally right next to it. So could these planes be planes from Fort Zancudo that just went straight into the water after taking off? Jimmy's teacher. In Bully, Jimmy actually thought that he was gonna sleep with his teacher.
I am in love, Jimmy. And I want to make tonight very special. Would you mind going to collect a few things while I work my muse out?
Tonight? Wow. Of course. Is this legal?
Of course it's legal. Whatever can you mean? Now go on, my dear. Hurry!
Here you go.
Oh, Jimmy, what took you so long? Thanks.
No problem. Oh, man, I can't believe this. My first time with a teacher. Oh, man, this is gonna be great.
Hey, Jimmy, what are you doing here?
Nothing. What are you doing here?
Ah, well, it's a little awkward, but since you've been such a good friend to me, Ms. Phillips, she's asked me, of all people, can you believe? She's asked me on a date.
Wait, she asked you? I think you're mistaken.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been some sort of mistake. You sure you haven't been hitting the bottle again?
No. I mean, yes, I am sure.
Well, okay then.
You look great.
So do you, Deirdre.
Thank you.
Wait, what?
Jimmy, what are you still doing here?
Alien War. Do you remember when the whole purple versus green alien thing was happening? I mean, this just unlocked a bunch of memories for me. Back in 2020, this would go viral on TikTok. There was hundreds of videos that included green and purple aliens. Then on GTA Online, one specific day, everyone dressed up and chose which gang they wanted to represent. Those were crazy times. Gary Smith is a werewolf. This is a theory that Gary from Bully is actually secretly a werewolf. This rumor started when players found out that there's actually howling noises that will play, which you can hear in-game and nighttime. And during the Halloween mission and theme, a kid named Trevor has a werewolf mask, and once Jimmy gets his hands on it, you can see that there's actually a scar that looks similar to the scar on Gary's face. But other than that small reference though, there isn't much evidence elsewhere that can be found. 69. For some reason, Rockstar loves the number 69, and they love inappropriate things and loading screens and penis. In fact, GTA 5 has exactly 69 missions. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Rockstar, then I don't know what will. LeBron James photo. Rockstar would post a picture of LeBron James himself, the king, the man that created his own teammate.
I'm hitting Diamond 1 on rank tonight on Siege. What that mean? Mess with me. What that mean? If you know, you know. What that mean? You know, you know. Guess I don't know. Hey! On his head! Ain't that what they do?
In 2020, Rockstar just randomly posted this image right here of LeBron James holding a copy of GTA Vice City. In many people's eyes, this was just a clever way of teasing GTA 6 because, as we know, it's going to be taking place in Vice City as well. Or maybe Rockstar are just really big LeBron fans. Confederate flag removed. When the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition came out, Rockstar caught some heat when they removed the Confederate flag from the t-shirt of the redneck arms dealer Cassidy. His shirt was swapped for a skull rather than the Confederate flag. Now, Cassidy is a crazy gun-loving American who lost his arm in an explosion, but he claims that he lost it in the war. I mean, he's a cool guy, right? The horny Red Dead girl. Yo, who the f put this here?
Don't be shy, ain't no one around.
Just my auntie. It's disrespectful.
You'd rather disrespect the living, breathing woman you got here in front of you?
All-seeing eye. This eye can be found all throughout GTA 5, from Franklin's house to Mount Chiliad. It is everywhere. Even Lester the Monster has one. So why does everyone in the GTA universe love this eye? Obviously, when we see it, most of us will think back to the Illuminati or the symbol found or the dollar bill. And this symbol is said to be the seal of the spiritual side, or the eye of God. In GTA, could it mean the same thing? That maybe it's a sign God is watching over us, or maybe these people are in a part of some different religion or group, because we also know the symbol has been used by Freemasons, the Illuminati, and the triangle shape or pyramid is also used by a multitude of cults and factions in-game and in real life. Could it also be a sign of the extraterrestrial beings watching over us, since we know that to be the case in this game? Manhunt mask. In Manhunt, there's a variety of different gangs that you go through, and their costumes or masks make an appearance in GTA 5. So the next time you feel like dressing up like a psychopathic murderer, I mean, you know what to wear. Michael's first robbery. Speaking of ties between GTA and Manhunt, Michael's first ever score was on the outskirts of Carcer City, which is where Manhunt takes place. This robbery happened in 1988, with Michael stealing over $10,000 of material before being arrested twice for unknown reasons. I mean, hey, maybe Michael and James Earl Cash would have been best friends. But hold on though, it is now time to go a little deeper. Okay, we're done touching our toes in the water. I'm ready to dive headfirst into tier 2. Max Payne addiction. This is a theory that throughout playing the series, you actually gave Max an addiction to painkillers. And honestly, I think it's 100% confirmed, because as we know, we take painkillers to regenerate our health throughout the first games, and if we fast forward to Max Payne 3, we can see the shell of a man that once was. He has an alcohol and painkiller addiction, his life is falling apart, and he is no longer working from the force. So sorry, buddy, we may have been the reason this man has a problem, or at least part of it. Ned and Saints Row. Back in 2020, the voice actor for Michael, being Ned Luke, would go on a live stream which he would diss the entire Saints Row franchise.
You ever played Saints Rows? No, I don't play posers.
This left a lot of people not happy. I mean, sure, Saints Row nowadays is not very cool, but back in the day it was a genuine rival to GTA. But where this story gets crazy is that the Saints Row official Twitter account would tweet at him saying he should at least give the game a shot, to which Ned responded with "send me a copy," and that they did.
Who the hell is Johnny Gat?
Sharks in the ocean. Did you know that if you drive out far enough into the ocean, there is a slight chance that a shark will spawn? But they aren't going to be your friend, they are going to eat you alive. Agent. In 2007, Rockstar announced a game that would be coming out soon named Agent. In 2009, further details would emerge, but of course, it has been silent since then and the game never saw the light of day. It was an open world spy game that would take place in the 1970s, set in the events of the Cold War. You would go through political assassinations and espionages, but the game would eventually be cancelled, presumably due to Rockstar shifting their focus to GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, and GTA 5. The Hobo. The Hobo is a character in Bully who teaches you new fighting moves and lives in a school bus inside the school, basically. And he's also piping your teacher, but the main thing he does is ask us to collect radio transmitters for him. So once we get all 6 to him, this will happen. He seemingly gets abducted or raised up somewhere never to be seen again, and this has obviously raised many questions and theories that we may explore later, but the most popular one is definitely that he was somehow able to communicate with extraterrestrial beings and use these transmitters to contact these aliens. After all, the Hobo was a drunk guy who we assumed just wanted the radios to listen to the music or the news or something, but he never specifically said what he actually wanted the transmitters for. Michael Hollick dispute. Michael Hollick, the voice actor for GTA 4's Nico Bellic, was allegedly upset that he was only paid $100,000 for all of his contribution to one of the biggest games ever made. However, this was never confirmed to be said by Hollick, and there's no definite proof that he was super unhappy with this pay. Perhaps he should have gotten more for being the main star in a huge game that made $500 million in the first week of release, but apparently due to some contract problems with the actors union, he couldn't be paid more than that. So hopefully they give me boy Nico some more cash, because while $100,000 is obviously a great amount, the fact that the game has made over $2 billion at this point, Michael and his acting and the performance he put on with Nico really made GTA 4. Many people consider him the best protagonist ever, so I think he deserves a little more.
Ramen! Are you sleeping, you fat fuck? Come on!
Cut DLCs. GTA 5 has had many DLCs over the years, with them being for the online mode. The story mode, on the other hand, yeah, it's been struggling. GTA 4 had many DLCs for its story, but with the success of the online mode, Rockstar has neglected GTA 5 just like your dad did to you. There was actually some DLCs in the work for story mode, but they were cut due to them focusing more on GTA Online because, hey, they gotta make that moolah. These scrapped add-ons were supposed to expand on our characters and give them more backstory and missions to do. Franklin would be put in a zombie invasion, Trevor would become an agent, and Michael would be put in an alien invasion, getting revenge for being inappropriately touched. But I guess we'll never see him. 9/11 changed GTA 3. After the events of September 11th, GTA 3 was changed in a lot of ways. Firstly, the cover art was switched to something less graphic and violent. The police car was changed from NYPD colors to generic black and white. They removed one mission that contained reference to terrorists, as well as a multitude of voice lines and radio quotes. And Rockstar said they made these changes to respect the victims of that day. Russell's disease. When you think about it, Russell may be the saddest character in all of Bully. His parents divorced, he was constantly in psych wards where he was abused, he suffers from a physical disorder that shortens his lifespan and makes his features abnormally big. And on top of that, he also has a mental disorder where he still has the mind of a small child, suggesting a mental handicap or a deficiency of some sort. His only true friend is Jimmy, and everyone else makes fun of him or uses him. It's okay, Russell, we're here for you, man. 200 pigeons. In GTA 4, there are 200 pigeons across the map, and you have to kill all 200 of them if you want to 100% the game. And once done, you also get the Flying Rats trophy, and a helicopter will spawn for you to use at any time, so kill them fucking birds. Cops and crooks canceled. In 2020, a certain George Floyd incident would happen. This set off riots and protests across America. Rockstar was planning to release their Cops and Crooks DLC for GTA 5 Online around this time, but because of what happened, they decided not to release it, and 4 years later, it's still not here and probably will never be here. Strange Man, a character in Red Dead Redemption who wears a nice suit and fedora, who somehow knows our name and everything we've ever done. When we come up to him, he says he's been waiting for us, and this man will then send us on multiple missions to do good deeds.
Hello, John. John Marston.
Do I know you?
I hope so. I seem to know you.
I'm pretty good at remembering faces.
Are you?
What's your game, friend?
I don't have a game, John. Listen, sometimes I just wish I'd known more about life. Wish I'd had better guidance. A friend of mine is drunk as a skunk in the saloon on Thieves' Landing. I think he's going to be unfaithful to his dear wife. Why don't you head over there and see if you can advise him how best to proceed?
What do you think I am?
I know what you are, John. Just if you've got the time, friend.
But it is this last scene that really makes this man a special character, as John will shoot the strange man 3 times, but the bullets go right through him.
What's your name?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I can't remember.
Tell me your damn name and where you know me from.
Well, I know you from Mexico. I know you from back out west. Hell, I know you from all over.
Tell me your name or I won't be responsible for my actions.
Oh, but you will. You will be responsible. This is a fine spot. See you around, cowboy.
Damn you!
Yes, many have.
This has left many to theorize that this is God himself, and honestly, I see it. He's a man that already knew John and what he does. He tells us, I know you, I hope you know me. And obviously the bullets don't kill him, which is probably enough evidence in itself. He's the guy who will test our moral compass. And before we shoot him, John says, damn you, to which Strange Man replies, yes, many have. Just like how many have done that to God himself. Mom's ghost. Beverly Johnson, CJ's mom, who dies in the first scene of the game, was said to be a ghost that you can see. These supposed sightings eventually prompted people to say that you could actually spot her ghost inside of CJ's house. Others believe her ghost can actually be found in the Vinewood Cemetery. It was never proven that her ghost is actually in the game, but there has been a countless number of people who say they have seen it. Mr. Moffat. This was a character who was supposed to be included in GTA Vice City, and damn, he looked creepy as hell. Mr. Moffat also had the same last name as Dan Houser's mother, and if you don't know who Dan is, he was the co-founder of Rockstar, and he loves to sip the lean. Rockstar Toronto incident. In 2021, a 30-year-old woman was playing GTA in real life because she was committing crimes left and right, most of which being robberies and theft. One of the places she would steal from ended up being Rockstar Studio in Toronto, and she would steal over $66,000 worth of items. And you know what she should have stole instead? Some files, and she should have leaked like the next few games coming out. The Epsilonist Time Traveler. Alright, this one is absolutely insane. Okay, so in GTA 5, Epsilonists are like a science and a religion. Basically, the satirical version of the real-life Scientology. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, we can find a man named Francis Sinclair who wears the same light blue outfit that the Epsilonists wear in GTA 5. But this man also happens to be a time traveler as seen by this crazy cutscene.
Hey, can I ask you a strange question? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm on the level.
I don't have a clue what you just said.
Well, I'm sorry, sport. There's these funny rock carvings. They look a bit like this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I sort of like really badly have to find all of them. Now, it's sort of a puzzle thingamy. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm on the up and up, and it's really important.
These little rock carvings.
Yeah, exactly, little rock carvings.
What do you want to do with them?
Well, it's sort of very complicated, and you'll think I'm jazzed if I tell you.
You're what?
Drunk?
Are you...
No, I wish. No, I'm, lost. It's a long story. Can you find the carvings?
I have no idea.
Well, I sort of need them. Hey, listen, if you find them, I'll pay you handsomely. Send me details, if you can. Here's my card.
And if I can't?
Well, I'm sure you can, sport. I'm sure you can. Francis Sinclair.
John Marston.
Pleasure.
But I don't understand. What are you gonna do with these things?
Well, I told you. If I told you, you'd think I was on the hooch.
The what?
I'm gonna have a lie down. I don't feel very well. And neither would you if... but, hey, what harm could it do?
What a lunatic.
So after we collect all of his rock carvings, when we come back to him, this happens.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Sinclair? Whoa.
Oh, hello? Can I help you?
I'm sorry for intruding. Mrs. Sinclair?
Yes? How did you know?
I was looking for your husband.
My husband? He's dead. He's been dead since just before Francis was born 1 year ago.
Your husband, Francis, is dead.
No, this is Francis. My husband, Tom, is dead.
I'm a little confused.
Yes, I think you are. What was your name?
It ain't important. Excuse me.
So what do Epsilons believe in exactly? Well, it is similar to Christianity in a sense that they believe in 3 different identities but one god, being Kiflam, Kraft, and Krant. And we can also see Francis has a very particular birthmark over his eye, both as a baby and adult. But if we look at the Epsilon program website, we see that they say anybody with this birthmark could actually be a descendant of Kraft himself. And taking a look at Francis' business card as well as the way he is dressed, it certainly seems that this man is a person who can travel through time, and damn, this is a mystery we have to solve someday. The effects of bullying. One of the jocks in the game, being Dan Wilson, has multiple times stating how he used to be a nerd and was bullied a lot. However, he also has multiple quotes stating how he kind of misses being a nerd, and if you thought this guy was gonna be nice, no he's not. Dan still ruthlessly beats up the nerds and says he doesn't know why he does it, but he just loves it. Bullying really caused Danny Boy to change who he is, and now he's on the other side of these brutal beatings. Police abuse. In GTA San Andreas, the police are far from kind, and it's been said that if you go to a certain parking garage, you can see 2 officers beating up on a lady over and over. This is said to be an Easter egg to represent the Rodney King's riot that took place in LA during 1992, the same year that San Andreas is set. It's meant to show off the police brutality during those times and during those riots. Bisexual Jimmy. Jimmy Hopkins is actually able to kiss boys. Yes, there is one kissable boy per click, and in order to get the Over the Rainbow achievement, you must receive over 20 kisses from these fine gentlemen. Let me know if you guys knew about this. I had no idea Jimmy swang that way, you know what I mean? But enough of that. Let's go deeper. Let's get colder. Let's go into tier 3. Satanic faculty. This is a theory that the faculty from the insane asylum in Bully is actually part of a satanic cult. Now this place is just creepy enough in itself, but when we first arrive on the scene, a deranged patient will tell us,
"What are you doing? Let's be friends, but don't anger the Watcher."
The inmate points us to the Watcher, which is a terrifying looking statue dressed in a robe with his hands spread out like he's some sort of higher power. And then upon entering, we hear the sounds of painful screams and drills. And once we reach Mr. Galloway, we can see him visibly in distress, muttering to himself about how he's a terrible person. And if you are caught in the Happy Vault Asylum, you don't get yelled at or kicked out. No. You get drugged. This man will stick a needle in your neck, turning your screen green and rendering Jimmy unconscious. So this has sparked up many theories about the fact of what these people are actually doing here, and about how the Watcher may actually be a different name or alias for some sort of higher demon. 1930s business plot. This is a theory that GTA 5 actually takes place in an alternate reality where a group of wealthy businessmen got their own leader that they would elect for their interests. Let me explain. Back in the 1930s, a group of elites were planning to overthrow the current president Franklin D. Roosevelt in order to then insert their own dictator that they would control. This was due to the New Deal Act at the time, which was said to be giving millions of Americans new jobs due to the Great Depression being just a few years earlier. Now obviously this plan didn't work, but a user theorized that GTA actually takes place in this timeline where the government is under a dictator, yet they are still called the president. However, they are actually controlled by the elites. And with this new government, they would use subtle advertising, subliminal messages, brainwashing Americans to be able to control their minds and be able to make them dumber so that the companies could just rise, just do whatever they wanted, and people would still buy. Then in due time, these huge companies don't have to hide it anymore and can just monopolize. For example, Life Invader did just that. As explained in the story mode, they invaded the privacy of millions of users without any real consequences.
Jay Norris? Yes, that is a lying bastard. I've read his emails. He's a cheat. I heard him say that he saved America. What, by outsourcing all the jobs?
Or the company Pisswasser. It's named that because it's alcohol. But it seems like nobody cares. I mean, think about how many people we murder, how many cars we steal, yet people are so desensitized they don't even care.
Did Michael tell you about Life Invader?
Oh shit, y'all two did that?
Look forward. We're two strangers having a friendly chat. And don't pretend that you liked Jane Norris.
Oh man, I don't know, homie. I mean, yeah, the dude outsourced work to child slaves, then stole and sold everybody's private information, and even ripped his own friends' ideas off and walked around like the Messiah while doing it, but, man, I don't think the nigga deserved to have his head blowed off on TV.
Oh, well, aren't you just a moral majority? You know, that's why the world is the way it is today, when a paid thug gets all namby-pamby when someone asks him to act like a paid thug.
Our crimes barely ever get on any headlines or news on the radio. Rather, it's these dumb TV shows ran by weirdos that people care more about. There's a countless number of corrupt cops and government agents. In fact, we literally have to battle the other agency that works for the same government just because these guys don't want to lose their jobs or be seen as worse than them. The government is keeping quiet about the crime and the borderline terrorist attacks taking place. We see the crime in Los Santos, the crime in Liberty City, a terrible corrupt school in Bulworth. Throughout the whole franchise, the whole universe, the elites just sit back and keep collecting the dough. Help Gary. In this bully mission, Gary starts off by going off and telling us how he doesn't really like us but just wanted our help to take over the school, before then saying he needs help with something, but in reality he was luring us to the pit for Russell to beat us up. But people believe this mission by the name Help Gary was actually supposed to be a cry for help from Gary, asking for advice or guidance from Jimmy to help with his family problems and psychological issues.
There you are. Come on, I found something incredible.
Hold on, relax, man. I can't keep getting in trouble. I can't get expelled again.
It's always about me with you. Me. I'm thinking bigger picture, and you're worrying about getting into trouble? You know what? You really are something.
What bigger picture?
We are gonna take over this school.
We are not taking over anything right now.
Time and tide wait for no man, my friend. But it seems they do wait for a wannabe tough guy who's nothing but a little girl.
You're full of it.
As explained by Gary himself, he suffers from ADD, paranoia, and is also believed to be a narcissistic sociopath, while at the same time having divorced parents and a father who was in prison. And around Halloween, Gary would stop taking his medication, which would be just a few missions before he betrays Jimmy and Pete. But originally and deep down, this was supposed to be a plea for us to help Gary. Nico is in purgatory. Some speculate that Nico Bellic from GTA 4 is in Purgatory. Purgatory in the Catholic faith is the place between heaven and hell where people go to be cleansed of their sins before entering heaven. Purgatory isn't necessarily regarded as a bad thing, because while the process of being purified in Purgatory may be painful, it does mean that you are eventually going to heaven if you enter. You just need a little bit of cleansing and maybe weren't quite as good enough in a sense to go right to heaven right away. And we can sort of see this with Nico. I mean, he isn't a good guy. He kills, he steals, but he does have a heart. He's not just a guy who wants to make the world a worse place. He understands the bad he is doing. And he does do things like join the Clean Up the Streets campaign, where he does just that. We also end up working with the feds for some while, and the man will actually tell us we aren't able to leave Liberty City. And looking at a map of Liberty City, it is just covered by water, and if we try to fly out, the game will not let us leave. Therefore, maybe all the pain Nico has to go through in GTA 4 is just the cleansing of himself in Purgatory. Amanda profile. In GTA 5, you are able to visit a dating site by the name Hushmush, and damn is it expensive to sign up for, costing $500. But once you do, if you do a bit of scrolling, you can come across a profile which what seems to be our wife Amanda just slutting herself out there. Her description reads, "Unsatisfied mother of two. I have the body and mind of a girl half my age, when my husband spends half his time sitting by the pool ignoring me. Looking for a fit, athletic man who knows how to appreciate a woman in her prime. Age 43, body type banging." And obviously this is a near word for word description of Amanda, so who knows, she was probably seeing the tennis guy, Fabian, and countless others behind our back. The Altruists. The Altruists are a religious cult that operate high in the mountains near Blaine County. Their members are all elderly men of the baby boomer generation, and they follow altruism, or the belief that all the generations that come after them are the cause of all the world's problems. Some members can even be seen walking half or fully naked, and we can find news articles in-game that state how multiple hitchhikers have gone missing in these mountains recently. And when playing as Trevor, Ron will tell us that the cult is requesting lost souls in exchange for cash, and it's implied that the altruists are also cannibals. But if we do want to help these guys out, Trevor can deliver some young blood to them if we want to. And that's exactly what I did with this drunk couple.
Crazy kids doing back there? I tell you what, while you're sweeping the front porch, why don't I work on her back plumbing?
Huh? What did you say?
How about I suck those kidney stones right out of your balls, big guy? Get this party really started.
Go easy on the paint job,
Stay
man.
off the road!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our hotel wasn't up a mountain.
I heard you're interested in taking care of some lost travelers for a price.
And so it is. And so it is. Leave the body, take the gold.
In exchange, the altruist will give you $1,000 per person you bring to them. However, once we deliver 4 victims to the cult, they will take us in at gunpoint, and we will then have to kill each and every single member there. X-rays. Heading back to the Happy Vault Asylum, we can see multiple X-rays believed to be a werewolf and an alien. Because as we can see, this is definitely not a human head. The mouth, the skull, it's way abnormal. So could there be an alien hiding somewhere? And could it have even escaped? There were even rumors that you could find an alien in one of these cells, or even fight one, and once you did, you would get an alien hat. However, this was never proven to be true, but with what happened to the hobo earlier, on top of other evidence, there is a good case to be made that there may be aliens roaming around Broworth. Jimmy in GTA 4. These super high quality videos released over 15 years ago show what seemed to be a man who appears to resemble Jimmy Hopkins. This picture is the earliest known example of this, as well as another video titled 100% Proof Jimmy Hopkins is in GTA 4. And it's a video of a man chasing after what seems to be a lookalike of Jimmy. Now obviously there has been serious doubt that this could actually be him, but Bully does take place in New England, which isn't too far from Liberty City. And it's also confirmed that these games do take place in the same universe, as well as the fact that some people have rumored there was actually supposed to be a mission in GTA 4 where Nico drives Jimmy home. But I guess we'll just have to wait until Bully 2. Michael's kids are Brad's kids. This is a theory stating that Jimmy and Tracy are not actually Michael's kids, but rather Amanda cheated on Michael with Brad, and these are biologically Brad's kids. People believed this due to the fact that Jimmy and Tracy do actually look very similar to Brad. And if you hang out with Amanda at a bar, when you guys are drunk, she will tell you this.
Drunk again, my darling. Like the night we met.
Lucky.
I liked your friend.
Trevor?
No, the other guy. But then you came on so strong. All that charm, all that talk, and now look at us. 2 kids, a million lies, and a near divorce
However, people quickly found out that the timelines simply did not match up, because Michael had met Trevor and then Amanda before ever meeting Brad, so the night that they met Amanda must have been talking about a different friend. So if it wasn't Trevor, I mean, was it Lester? Was it someone else that we don't know about? Obese NPCs. In Red Dead Redemption 2, we have all types of civilians in different shapes and sizes, but for some reason, the obese NPC models were actually cut from the game. You can still find these models in the game files. I mean, imagine this in online. That's like -90 speed right there. But it's now time to dive into tier 4. Jack Thompson. If you think you've met someone that hates GTA, think again, because a former attorney, Jack Thompson, tried to destroy the franchise. He was a man of the belief that video games, and in particular violent video games like Manhunt and especially GTA Bully, should all outright be banned and not playable for anyone. He would lobby against Rockstar and claim that multiple crimes people committed were in real life was because their inspiration from the GTA games. Jack even tried to sue Take-Two Interactive and wrote a letter to the CEO of the company's mom, and this was the last straw for Take-Two, who eventually filed their own case against Jack. Of course, Jack never won anything because the claim that people just do things because of video games is simply not true. I mean, how many of you guys have played GTA? How many of your friends have played GTA? Probably most of them, right? And do you go and commit a bunch of crimes because of it? No, unless you have something wrong with you. You're obviously not going to do that. Especially because, unlike in GTA, the cops will most definitely not forget about you in 30 seconds. You will be hunted and found. Biology classroom. In Bully, when you enter the biology classroom, when class is not in session, we can find a human head in a jar, and we get no clarification or explanation of how this got here. Also, in the 2-player minigames, you will dissect 2 alien bodies. I mean, aliens confirmed in Bully. It makes me think, what the hell is this teacher hiding? I mean, you got all this, like, what the? Manhunt murders. In 2004, the Manhunt game was blamed for the murder of a teenager in the UK. 14-year-old Stefan Pakira was stabbed to death by another 17-year-old Warren LeBlanc, who lured him to a park before killing him with a knife, and the parents of Stefan claimed Manhunt was what inspired LeBlanc to commit the murder. Stefan's mother said, quote, "I think that I heard some of Warren's friends say that he was obsessed with this game." And to quote from the website that promotes it, it calls it a psychological experience, not a game, and it encourages brutal killing. If he was obsessed with it, it could be well that the boundaries for him became quite hazy. Stefan's father also claimed that LeBlanc had introduced his son to the computer game and that it should not be available to children. They said that Manhunt was seized by the police as evidence, and a report was done on the game, and it was quite horrific because the aim of the game is to kill and to do it brutally. To be fair, it seems that there might be some correlation if these claims are true, because it stated that LeBlanc lured him to a park to murder him before being caught shortly after, and he had a knife and a sledgehammer with him. It's also terrible that a video game was sought to blame, so who knows, maybe Manhunt really was the boy's inspiration for this crime. Jimmy was going to die in acid. When fighting Edgar in the power plant, it's assumed that a scene and voice lines were cut from the game that would have seen Jimmy die in acid if he loses. We can still find these unused lines in the game files.
Nothing like a chemical peel for your skin, huh, Jimmy? That burns, doesn't it? Poor little Jimmy taking an acid bath.
Now, this could also be maybe a cut acid attack that Edgar would have thrown at Jimmy. However, we can also find in the files something a little darker. In the game's code, we can find 5_B fall into sludge, and when you travel to those exact coordinates, you will be right on top of the acid that Jimmy and Edgar fight on. And this scene of Jimmy dying may have been removed from the game because Jimmy being thrown and burned in a pit of acid would have been way too dark for this type of game. You don't really die in Bully, but this scene would have really changed that and made a whole entire horrific ending where Jimmy dies because of all Gary did and the lies he told, and it would have made Gary the real villain. Self-aware mad preacher. Many speculate that this man in Red Dead Redemption 2, known as John the Baptizing Madman, is actually a self-aware NPC who knows he's being trapped inside a game. He can often be found just sitting by rivers, and it's a reference to the real-life John the Baptist, a very important person in the Christian faith. However, John the Madman seems to be on the verge of understanding his reality in the virtual world. John has said he has waited many years asking for an answer from his creator, and a lot of his dialogue can be interpreted to be about Rockstar and its developers, with John referring to them as they, as he does to him when talking about the creators of the universe. And he'll also ask Arthur, "Are you the signal?" a reference to his long wait for answers. Others say that John the Madman is actually John the Baptist himself and is the player, or Arthur Morgan, is he the messenger he's been looking for. And also, if John is killed, he will just respawn at a new location every time. Ronald Reagan. In GTA Vice City, we can find a billboard of President Ronald Reagan himself holding a gun in his hand alongside another fellow. But the thing is, in order to find it, you have to head glitch yourself through a wall and be in a perfect position so you can see past the barriers. So this was either a cleverly hidden Easter egg by Rockstar, or perhaps they were planning on putting it in the game and then decided not to, and then just left it in the sandbox, assuming there was no way to see or find it. San Andreas Golf Patch. This was a quote-unquote lost mod that saw some pretty dark turns. Credit to Strife Seeker, who made a really solid investigation on this mystery. It started off on a 4chan board, which saw a mod maker ask people if they had any ideas for some mods that he should make. However, when he would actually make the mod itself and send the file, it contained a virus inside of it. But the mod maker would say that it was a small joke virus, didn't cause any harm, and it could be easily removed. However, what the mod also did was give NPCs a random first and last name. Doesn't sound too crazy, right? This is until someone would comment about how they had to shoot an NPC who resembled their own mother. And the NPC in question was named Heather Lynn Higgins, who was a real person who had recently gone missing, along with other people reporting that there's also other NPCs that had their names of real life people that had gone missing. So people would report this mod to be taken down and how you should never speak about it again. And now if you try to find it on 4chan, you'll find nothing. Man, what are all those fraud people on that website doing, man? But a further look into this mystery will find that this was an elaborate hoax by an Argentinian YouTuber named Sheika, who tried to troll a different Hispanic YouTuber named Valencio911. He's a clickbait GTA guy, and he was able to catch on to it after other people told him about it. Basically, the mod and story was made to troll this man and expose that he didn't do any deep research into the topics he talks about. So this GTA golf mod stuff was pretty popular within the Hispanic community, but never really reached super high popularity within any English speaking channels due to it being a troll job and hoax started by the Spanish YouTuber Shake, the day that never comes. This is a strange and extremely rare GTA 5 phenomenon that is honestly unexplainable. Basically, in the game, the sun will set normally between the hours of 19 to 22, with the night falls lasting for 24 hours. And for the day that never comes, the moon will complete a cycle across the sky up to 3 times, but the sun will never rise. So basically, you can see the moon leaving as you would normally do, and since it's daytime, the sun should be coming out. But here, it never does, and instead, it's just the moon coming back up over and over again. And it's unknown whether this is a glitch or a rare scripted event, for the most part, it's assumed that this is just a bug in which the sun never comes. Charles Manson in Vinewood. Charles Manson was a criminal and cult leader as well as a musician in the late 1960s and 1970s, doing most of his crime in Los Angeles, California. This man would literally make music in the day and then lead a cult while murdering people in the night. He killed at least 9 people, including Hollywood actors, with conspiracy to get even more. Charles Manson led the Manson family cult for years before being locked up and sentenced to life in prison. But in GTA, if you go up to the Vinewood Hills, you will find the number 1807 on a wall with red graffiti. And it's believed to be a reference to Manson because when we go into this backyard, the people just fall over and die when touching them, and this is the only spot in the entire game where this will happen. Ratman. One of the most infamous myths in GTA 4, Ratman is said to be an entity that can be found in the subway tunnels with a weird resemblance of a rat and a man. This started when a bunch of supposed sightings came up, and Ratman and how he would attack the player and other NPCs while only saying the words, "I am Ratman." The only real evidence we have is a few odd looking screenshots and videos, but some also claim that he was removed from the game, or that you have to do a specific movement to summon him. Strange mechanic. So you know the mechanic in GTA 5, you can call him, he'll deliver your cars for you, but he was actually in the game at one point as an NPC. However, he was later removed due to strange behavior. Basically, the mechanic would act really hostile at times, saying insults and even attacking the player, alongside the fact that he would crash and wreck your vehicles when trying to drop them off to you. You even had the ability to kill him, but of course he was removed. And people say he was cut from the game due to his strange behavior because he would be a bugged out NPC, and in the Valentine's Day Massacre update he was booted from the game, and it's unknown whatever caused the mechanic to behave in this way when there's a bunch of other NPCs that act completely normal. North Yankton creature. In the epilogue mission of GTA 5, once getting in your vehicle to drive away, if we diverge from the road we're supposed to be on, we can find some sort of what seems to be an alien frozen beneath the ice. And in the Bury the Hatchet mission, when you come back to North Yankton, the alien can still be found. Some people even claim to see more of these creatures out in the North Yankton nightly fog if you go out far enough. But I mean, at least this part is 100% confirmed. There are creatures roaming around. The next time you play GTA 5 story, make sure you pay my man a visit. Lighthouse Witch. In GTA Vice City, it's said that a lighthouse in the ocean beach has been taken over by a witch who haunts the area. She has been spotted in and around the structure at nighttime, and in Vice City we can hear many references to witches throughout the entire game. Jimmy is in purgatory. This is similar to the Nico Bellic purgatory theory, but I believe there is much more evidence to this one in Bully, and it gets extremely dark. It's theorized that Jimmy actually died in the final showdown with Gary, and everything we see after is Jimmy's soul and his deepest desires coming true. This is because we can see Jimmy and Gary fall from the same height in the same position. However, when we see them, Jimmy is completely fine with nothing having happened to him, while Gary is completely unconscious. And the headmaster will then tell Jimmy that he heard the entire thing and Jimmy is actually a good kid and Gary is now going to be expelled. Obviously, this is what Jimmy wanted, but I find it hard to believe that the headmaster would hear every word being said and understand Gary over the roof and all the rain and lightning going on. But besides that, perhaps most damning is that the final showdown takes place at night. However, when we go outside, it is now daytime. And stepping outside, we also see Jimmy is popular and loved by the school when the girl he likes then comes up to him and kisses Jimmy. And also, after the credits roll, we live through the same 5 days in the summer and our parents never arrive to pick us up. And like we mentioned earlier, purgatory is the belief that you're not quite good enough to enter heaven, but not quite worse enough to enter hell, so your soul needs some cleansing in purgatory. And like we saw with Nico, this is also very true for Jimmy. He stands up for a lot of people, offers a helping hand to many, and at the end of the day just wants peace. But he also insults others, fights others, and tries to get back at everyone who wronged him in an act of revenge. He destroys property and bullies others to get his way. And lastly, we never see Edgar and Russell again and have no idea what happened to him or all the riots that were taking place. And honestly, after seeing all the evidence, I think Jimmy could actually be in purgatory because a lot of these things don't make sense. I mean, how did it become daytime? But we have saved the best for last, and it is now time to enter the final tier. Tier 5! Manhunt taped over a show. In the ending credits of Manhunt, we can see this short clip. It appears to be a clip of a kids' TV show, and so it is heavily implied that Starkweather taped over the majority of the children's show with the snuff film footage of James Cash's killings. So when turning on the TV, these kids didn't see their favorite cartoon show, but rather footage of brutal killings that will probably traumatize them. Or hey, maybe the kids liked it, I don't know. So this man was showing the snuff film of our murders for the kids during their cartoons, and after a while it seems like things have returned back to normal programming. Life is a video game. In 2003, a man named Devin Moore would cause controversy around GTA Vice City. He committed 3 acts of first-degree murder at a police station in 2003 after being booked on the suspicion that he stole a car. And after these murders, he would then steal a highway patrol vehicle to get away. Then, when David was eventually caught, he told the press, quote, "Life is a video game, everybody's gotta die sometime." David Moore had no criminal background, was never in trouble at school, and had no clear signs of mental illness, yet would still go out of his way to commit these crimes. So then when he was being sentenced, his defense told the judge and showed the jury that Grand Theft Auto was what incited David's shooting spree, and that he may have also been suffering from PTSD. So hey, life is a video game, everybody's gotta die sometime. Honestly, it sounds like a pretty cool thing to say when getting arrested, but it also sounds pretty horrifying. Jimmy is James Cash. This is a theory that our boy Jimmy Hopkins is actually James Earl Cash, the serial murderer and criminal you play as in Manhunt. This is due to the fact that Jimmy obviously shows traits of aggression and violence. He comes from a dysfunctional family where his parents don't care about him, and he's been expelled from so many schools across the country. He also uses many different types of weapons throughout the game, picking up whatever he can and just beating people with it much like James does in Manhunt. Along with the fact that, of course, Jimmy is a very common nickname for James. And Carcer City, where Manhunt takes place, is also not very far from Bulworth itself. And some even say that Jimmy may have been used as an experiment after graduating, due to his high aggression levels, but also his ability to fight in combat. Because Jimmy usually wins most of his fights, he's really resourceful and has a high level of skill, and he does all this even when faced against bigger people. So because of this testing, Jimmy suffered mentally, developing symptoms that would lead him to live a murderous life as an adult. Or maybe Jimmy was just a psychopath the entire time we play as him in Bully. These games take place in the same universe, and it wouldn't be unusual at a psychological level if, say, Jimmy did go through something after his time in Bulworth that left him as a sociopathic or psychotic killer as he grew up and became an adult. On top of all that, Jimmy and James share a resemblance, having the same type of body structure, race, and hairstyle. Honestly, I'm all for it. Jimmy grew up and became a ruthless serial killer. That's why there was never a Bully 2, because Manhunt was Bully 2. Theory confirmed. GTA 4 Leprechaun. There's an ancient GTA 4 theory that states how there are leprechauns in the game. People say they can be found in some parks, but there isn't much evidence besides a few screenshots. There's also been theories made that the people who saw the leprechaun in game would die shortly after in real life. So it was said these little green guys weren't good luck charms, but rather a sign that something really bad is coming. Gary was supposed to die. This is a theory that in the final showdown, Gary was actually supposed to be killed by Jimmy. We know from earlier that Jimmy dying from acid was cut from the game, so it doesn't seem far off that they would do something like this, or at least entertain this idea, because after all, Gary is one of the few villains out of all the Rockstar games that doesn't die. And in the game files, there's actually 3 different versions of the Final Showdown, with Final Showdown 03 being the one that was used. However, Final Showdown 02 cannot be found anywhere, so it's theorized that this other version was removed completely, and this was the version where Gary Smith dies. It was rumored that in this version, after beating Gary, you would then have to fight Crabblesnitch as the final boss, but this was all cut because, I mean, Jimmy would literally be a murderer after killing Gary, so that just would have made the game so dark and twisted in that finale. Lost chapter. Sort of continuing on this same bully path, in the files, we can also find a 7th chapter in the game that was deleted entirely. There's only 2 missions in this chapter where the location is known, being outside the Prep Beach Clubhouse and one in the Bulworth Vale Graveyard. Chapter 7 was going to take place during the summer, and this ties into the previous entry where some believe that this graveyard mission was going to be the last one in the game, in which you go and pay Gary a visit at his grave. GTA murders. Throughout the years, GTA has been blamed for many killings across the world. This is due to the violent nature of the game, as mentioned earlier with the whole Jack Thompson thing. In 2013, when GTA 5 had just released, an 8-year-old boy would shoot his grandmother, killing her, and this would reportedly happen just minutes after playing GTA 5. It's also stated that Adam Lanza, a man who shot and killed over 20 people at an elementary school, including his own mother, as well as many children in the Sandy Hook shooting taking place in Connecticut. It's said that Adam was obsessed with violent video games, including the GTA franchise, and that this may have been the source of some of his inspiration that led him to doing this. Then, just last year in September 2023, 2 teenagers murdered a former police chief by driving into him, and the news articles surrounding it described it as Grand Theft Auto style. There's countless more cases of GTA being blamed as an inspiration or the main cause of many real-life crimes and murders. The real Michael Townley. We all love Michael, but I'm not talking about the in-game character or about his voice actor, no. The real Michael Townley was born in the year 1942 in Iowa. He worked for the Chile Secret Police, otherwise known as DINA, and he was a high-ranking assassin. In 1974, Michael Townley would kill General Carlos Prates along with his wife, and then in 1978, he would plead guilty to the murders of Orlando and Ronnie, who were Chilean ambassadors to the US. However, Michael kept getting released and he kept being immune to persecution, so he never had to go back to prison. But the craziest part of it all is that he is still alive to this day at 82 years old. Let's get all the Michaels to talk to each other, man. The Bulworth Stalker. An account named Bully 2 OSTs would post music that appeared to be from Bully 2, but this was not true. A lot of them were just random songs. Eventually though, they would post a video of Keemstar's Drama Alert intro with the title Bulworth News. However, in the middle of it, it would cut to some strange and disturbing images. Genuinely creepy stuff, even talking about the devil. Then, at the end of the video, a link to a list of bully characters could be found, and this list showed whether or not these characters were alive. It's assumed that there was some sort of serial killer going around Bulworth. Honestly, just bizarre and terrifying videos, Twitter accounts. It is unknown who ran this account or if they will ever come back, but the channel has been inactive for the last 5 years. The Junkyard Killer. This is a GTA San Andreas myth that states how you can find two enemies known as the Junkyard Killer and the Headless Man. According to the story, the Junkyard Killer eliminated a college student and sliced his head off, but after murdering the student, he was then assassinated by another group of unknown people. They would then dump his body in the junkyard next to Mount Chiliad. His flesh was burned, and after a few years his body was somehow reanimated. He haunts the junkyard to this day and wields a shotgun while wearing Western clothes, and he can still be seen fighting the Headless Man under the Blueberry Bridge. Roman.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling. So good to see you, cousin. I can't believe you made it. Shit, I have to tell you, I had quite a night last night. 2 women. The land of opportunity. Ah! I've made it. Oh. Shit, man, I'm still a touch drunk. A touch? My cousin is here!
Whoa,
we got to
Roman, come on, relax.
Yeah, whatever, buddy. Just take over the world someplace else, all right?
buddy.
You're in the...
Thank you guys for watching, man. This video took way too long to make. Let me know if you guys want to see more Icebergs in the future, more GTA videos, more Rockstar stuff. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. In the future, you already know it's going to be bigger and better, just like we're in Texas, but we're not actually in Texas, but it's going to be bigger like it's in Texas. It's going to be bigger like Roman, basically. I hope you liked that last entry, okay? That was the creepiest one out of the entire thing. I love each and every one of you, so hey, have a good day, and God bless.
And love is love, and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure, and I can hardly...
And you keep us safe, all right, officer?
You've crossed the line! Who do you think you are?
He's got a weapon. Suck my dick!